So I'm continuing my reading, and what I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order according to events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around just a little bit. Right now, I am still reading in the book of Exodus, and this will be chapter 13. Firstborn of man and of beasts to be sanctified unto the Lord. Feast of Unleavened Bread to be kept in land of Canaan. Moses takes Joseph's bones out of Egypt. The Lord attends Israel in a pillar of a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb, among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib. And it shall be, when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. So just a restatement of the Feast of Passover and renewing that commandment to keep it. Now, at the beginning it said, All the firstborn that openeth the womb among the children of Israel is the Lord's. This will come in later, so keep that in mind. It's only briefly mentioned here, so I'm not going to dwell too much on it, but keep it in mind because it does come up later. And we will talk about it when it does. Verse 8, And thou shalt shew thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year. Whereas in this season just means at the time that I'm telling you to. It's the 14th to the 21st of the month of the first month, which apparently is the month of Abib. First month of spring, April, approximately in April. I think it's between March and April. So the Passover actually, of course, coincides approximately with Easter, which was when Christ was crucified and resurrected. So now it does have this, for a memorial between thine eye, as a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes. Now this did lead, and I think it goes into more detail about it later on, but this was the practice of binding phylacteries, which were little leather cases. They write the scriptures on them, put them in the phylactery, and they bind them along their wrists so that it would be on the hand. Or they would bind it to the forehead like a crown so that it would be between their eyes. I think they took it a little too literally myself, but I don't know. Let's see. It's been a while since I've read these, so we will see. But I think what it meant by sign upon thine hand and between thy eyes is a symbolic thing. Being on the hand is a symbol of action, and being between the eyes or the forehead is a symbol of thought. They are constantly thinking about it, remembering. They're looking back and remembering what the Lord did for them. And in their actions, they are performing the Passover feast, and they are showing that they remember. So that's kind of what I think. But let's continue on. We'll say, I know they did have the practice of binding the phylacteries to the hands and to the forehead. So they definitely took it literally. But Let's continue. Verse 11. And it shall be, when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast, the males shall be the Lord's. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck, and all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be, when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, What is this? That thou shalt say unto him, By strength of hand the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being male. But all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of hand the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt. Now this does sound a little bit more literal when it says frontlets between thine eyes. So maybe they did have it right. Maybe it was supposed to be literal. That I don't know if they wore it constantly. I don't think they did. I think they wore them like on the Sabbath when they went to their holy convocations and they did their sacrifices. That's when they do it. But I could be wrong there too. But you'll note here, because he slew the firstborn. Remember, he didn't just slay the firstborn of men. He slew the firstborn of all animals too. And because of that, the firstborn of Israel now belongs to God. The animals get sacrificed. But, it says the firstling of an ass shall be redeemed. So you can, when the ass has a child, and also it's only the males, the firstborn male. But the ass is a good beast of burden. You don't eat them. You put them to work. And so you can redeem them with a lamb so that you can keep working. In like manner, men, God does not like human sacrifices. And so instead of sacrificing your children to God, you redeem them by sacrificing a lamb in their place. Again, this is a symbol of Christ being sacrificed in our place. We all belong to God. We owe the debt of sin to God. Justice demands payment. We can't pay it. Christ pays it for us. He redeems us, just as the Israelites were redeemed by the sacrifice of a lamb. Anyways, verse 17. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, Lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. Okay, just a couple things. This is an interesting one. If you know the map, you have the middle. You have Egypt, and you have the Red Sea. And if you go straight up along the coast, you come into the land of Canaan, and the coastal part of Canaan is where the Philistines were. So they could have gone up there. That would have been easy, nice trek along the coast. But God said no, because they're going to have to go to war. And maybe when they get to go to war, they won't like fighting, and they'll just go back to Egypt. So let us take them in a longer route so that when they go to war, getting back to Egypt will be harder. So what does he do? He's going to take them, instead of going up the coast, he cuts across the wilderness. They go due east across the wilderness. They're going to cross between the Red Sea has the two forks, the two prongs that stick up on the north side of the Red Sea. They're going to cut across that. I think that is what is called the Sinai Peninsula. But he states that he's doing it because he doesn't want them to return to Egypt. He doesn't want the temptation of Egypt to be there. So, but now again, also they take the bones of Joseph as Joseph's brothers had promised that they would. So, let's end it here. Verse 20, and they took their journey from Sukkoth and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. So, God is actually leading them directly. He's pillar of cloud, pillar of fire. This is how they follow. As that cloud moves or the fire moves, Israel follows behind it. They leave Sukkoth. And, they left Ramses originally. I believe Ramses and Goshen were the same place.